So let's say you've just come into a little bit of extra money and you want to buy a fun car. Where do you go? Well, Subaru has quite a few options for you. And today we'll show you the difference between a low-slung coupe like the BRZ and the four-wheel drive track machine we know to be the WRX. Let's check it all out at the Clark International Speedway. So we're aboard the new 2019 Subaru WRX. Now, what does WRX stand for? It's World Rally Experimental. And that's because the roots of this car go all the way back to when Subaru was still racing in the World Rally Championships with the Legacy, the Impreza, and they carried that legacy on to their road car, most notably the WRX. This is actually not the top spec model. This is actually the base model of the WRX with the 6-speed manual. And that's actually how we like it. Although the version with the CVT is actually nice for everyday driving, on a track, you really want to have a full control of your vehicle, which is why the 6-speed manual is really the preferred choice to go. You've got plenty of horsepower here. You've got 268 when you count it on horsepower, depending on the conversion. It's not the most powerful version of this model around. That distinction goes to the STI. But this is not a slouch. You've got your 6-speed manual, you've got a 2-liter turbocharged and intercooled engine up front, and it's got that nice molded hood scoop right there on the hood. It's actually very exciting once you start going for it. And the other bit is that it has all-wheel drive, symmetrical all-wheel drive, which Subaru likes to do in all their vehicles, except for the BRZ. That's rear-wheel drive. But it's also a different experience altogether. In this vehicle, you're sitting more upright. You can see more of the road around you. You've got space for 5 adults with luggage. It's a practical, everyday car that you can use. But when it comes to that generating that sporty sports car driving feeling, that's really pretty much where the BRZ shines, and we'll show you that in a little while. So if you can tell, there's been a lot of rain in the last hour here at the Speedway. And it's really put a bit of a damper on things, but not so much, because it can be very fun to take on with something like this, the Subaru BRZ. So let's take it out. Let's take it out for a spin. Now, powering this car is a 2-liter naturally aspirated flat-4 engine. It's got 200 horsepower, which is plenty for a car that's as light as this. And considering that it has a 6-speed manual with perfectly placed pedals, it should be a lot of fun. So let's take it out. What we have here, let's go out on the straight. It's good power. It's got a great boxer type noise. It does not have a turbo, so you don't get the boost kick like you would in a lot of the other Subarus you may know. And that's all right. I mean, it makes for a car that's very controllable. The throttle is much more responsive than a turbo would be, unless of course you tune your turbo to be, very, very quick when it comes to response. But also the big thing about this, it's also somewhat symmetrical, like the all-wheel drive system there. But in the BRZ, it's only rear-wheel drive. So that can result in some pretty entertaining corners. Like you take this one, right? Oh. That's good fun right there. See, let's try the big loop at the Speedway. All right, let's go for an entry here. Kick down, perfect pedals. Ah. Still a bit twitchy when I hit the water right there, but it's still good fun. We'll go for some more a little bit later on. But for now, we can tell you that the driving experience this model offers is very different from the one of the WRX. That one feels very planted. This one, it can be a handful, but it's also a lot more fun when you get that tail out, even just that little bit. Later we'll play around with it a little bit more, but for now, we're gonna enjoy this new BRZ. As you can tell, we got a little bit rained out here at the Clark International Speedway. I believe Pag-asa says it's the opening salvo of Typhoon Dodong. Whichever the case may be, it doesn't really matter if you're in something like the WRX. All-wheel drive, symmetrical all-wheel drive, 268 horsepower, it's not a problem for a car like this. You will have traction and grip wherever you drive it here, so long as you keep it well within check. For the BRZ, well, these kinds of conditions, it's what we call pure entertainment. That's when you can get the tail out as much as you want, because it's very easy, it's very greasy right now. Now, you may want to train yourself and practice how to handle a car like this on the limit. But for what it is, we love the driving thrills of this 2019 BRZ. Now, which one would I pick? Well, personally, I do like the thrill of this, but I love the everyday usability of something like the WRX with 4 doors, space, and, well, plenty of power. Now, if you like what we're doing here, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Once again, this is Vince of AutoIndustriya. Thank you for watching.